The fourth and final day of the temporary 4-day ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. So,
freed hostages, reveal details, life in captivity. It is only when you follow me and subscribe and share this message, that's when you're gonna get this for the next video I'm gonna post. So the issue now is that the Hamas is trying to say they are not the only groups that are kidnapping people during this crisis, because the Israel gave them the list. They said they are going to be releasing 10 people every day. 10 people every day. This is the 4th day of ceasefire. So the thing there is that the list, it is confusing because most of the hostages, the Hamas don't know where they are. So Hamas is assuring them they are going to find out the groups who took those people that is in the list. So that's what is happening. So before I open the full details, please make sure you touch the like button. Share this video. It won't cost you anything to share. Drop your comment below. Now, let's go there.
it is 6 a.m. here in New York City. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Israel, and we are now in the fourth and final day of the temporary 4-day ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas.
So we're learning that both have concerns over the list of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners due to be released today, Ainsley.
This after 14 more Israeli hostages were freed yesterday, bringing the total number now to 40 over the last 3 days.
But how many more? Trey Yanks is live at the Snyder's Children's Medal in Israel. Trey, what's behind you? What's inside that building?
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Overnight for the 3rd straight evening, a group of hostages was released from Gaza. 9 of them children that were flown here by helicopter to the Snyder's Children's Hospital just outside of Tel Aviv. Additionally, 2 mothers flown here as well. We spoke with the grandmother who had 3 of her grandchildren here released last night from Gaza. And she said the kids were just being kids. They were laughing and playing. They wanted to eat pizza. And we know among that group, 4-year-old Abigail Idan, an American-Israeli citizen. Both of her parents were tragically killed, but she did become a symbol of survival and hope, a reminder also of the brutality Hamas inflicted on the civilian population. Yesterday, President Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the release of Abigail. He had this to say.
The little girl, Abigail, what a joy to see her with us. But on the other hand, what a pity she returns to the reality of no parents. She has no parents, but she has a whole nation that embraces her.
There are so many families struggling today with the aftermath of what took place on October 7th, but loved ones meeting their family members at this hospital, just trying to hold on to hope as this war continues. There are questions today in the last day of the ceasefire about if it will be extended. Regional sources telling Fox News they do believe they will be able to get some sort of agreement between Israel and Hamas to get additional hostages out for more pauses in fighting. Guys?
Trey, I thought it was hardcore. Give us 10 for each day. You give me 10 and we get a day extension. Is there some gray area?
It appears that will be exactly it. It has to go with the initial agreement that was brokered by the Qataris, and that has laid out 10 hostages for each additional day. We should talk about the caveat here, though, and the challenge for Hamas. Hamas does not know where all of the hostages are because there were other organizations inside Gaza that brutally kidnapped people on October 7th, including Islamic Jihad, PFLP, some of these smaller factions, and also criminal families in Gaza. And so hostages are spread throughout the Strip. It will be incredibly difficult for Hamas to identify and locate all of them. And so we may be looking at a few days here of an additional extension to this ceasefire. But after that, the Israelis say they are pushing forward with their operation inside Gaza to destroy Hamas leadership.
That's right. And Trey, of course, we want all the hostages back. But apparently Israel's got a problem with the list of hostages. But Hamas has a problem, according to Reuters, with the list as well. So what's the problem? Who gets to write the list of which bad guys we let out?
Yeah, there are a lot of technical details here, and we should talk about the exchange, what's taking place, and also the list. Right now, there's an issue with the list because the Israelis were promised that all mothers and children would be released together. Last night, that didn't happen. There were some children that came back to Israel without their mothers. Additionally, Hamas is pushing to get more of their prisoners released. And we're not talking about people that were just simply taken to jail for no reason. Yesterday, a woman who tried to commit a bombing attack against Israel was released as part of this deal in exchange for some of the children that are being treated here at this hospital. And it just gives you a sense of the exchange, what's taking place, hostages for prisoners, and we do expect that to continue tonight. Additional hostages will be released if this deal moves forward on the fourth day.
So, Trey, are the Americans, I mean, you know Hamas, are they worth more, which is why the Hamas is holding on to many of the Americans?
It's tough to tell how Hamas prioritizes the hostages, but we can infer based on the understanding we have from talking to the group and also from the hostages that they've released so far that they understand the symbolism behind some of these hostages. For example, there's a 10-month-old baby, and we spoke with one of his relatives yesterday in Tel Aviv at Hostage Square, and he has largely become a symbol of hope for the Israeli people, but he's not yet been on this initial list. So Israeli officials are hoping he could be released today, but there's no clear indication yet if he'll be on that list along with his brother, who was also taken hostage into Gaza. Now, the Israelis continue to see the aftermath of this brutal massacre that took place more than 50 days ago. Just last hour, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was in Kfar Aza, one of the communities along the Gaza border, and he was joined by Elon Musk. Once again, the Israelis trying to show the world, the international community, the brutality that Hamas inflicted on the civilian population here, trying to remind people, especially high-profile visitors to Israel, about what took place and who Hamas was targeting.
Trey, we're seeing some of these images of the freed hostages. We were also just blown away by that beautiful video of the little 9-year-old boy running down the hallways of the hospital where you are right now at the Schneider Children's Hospital into the arms of his dad. What are the hostages telling you, or their families telling you, about how there's the little boy, he's 9 years old, how they all were treated?
It's a great question. And that little boy, Ohad, 9 years old, he celebrated his birthday while he was held by Hamas inside Gaza in late October. But he has also become just such a symbol for this country. He was reunited, and one of the first things that he did was go and have mashed potatoes and schnitzel, fried chicken. A classic dish here. Right. And you hear this from so many of the family members. The grandmother that we just spoke with last hour, she said the kids wanted pizza and they wanted iPads. And she was sort of joking about how they had been in Gaza for so long, but they're just kids. They want to have snacks and they want to play with their friends. And Ohad, actually, when he came to Schneider's Children's Hospital, he was reunited with his friends. And you saw images of them eating ice cream. And it really just sort of cuts through all of the noise in this story. This is a story about humans and about people, and so many families are waiting, hoping that their loved ones will be on the next list of hostages that are released from Gaza.